So today we have with us Chelle Hartzer from 360 Pest Consulting, right? Is that where you're from?
That's right.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Chelle, welcome to our little show here.
Thanks.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're a BCE and a consultant and whatever. How did you get into all this? And tell us about yourself a little bit.
I don't think we have enough time or wine for that conversation, but
Okay.
the short answer is kind of like everybody else. I fell into pest management accidentally.
Hmm.
It was never on my storyboard or my vision board or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Kind of happened a little bit by stages, and here I am, more than 10 years later, helping out smaller pest control companies as their fractional entomologist.
Wow. So this wasn't, you didn't have this conversation with your high school guidance counselor as like,
You know that yeah, wasn't on the map at that
no.
time.
Okay, okay. Oh my gosh. No, did you go to school for entomology or
So I did, and that's how I sort of started into this
yeah.
line of work. Switched my major as going into my junior year of college because
Wow.
wasn't doing so great and decided to pick something else that may work. And I said, "Wow, etymology sounds cool." I did have to look up the word to figure out what it was, but it
Yeah.
was a science thing, and I like science, so sure. And just absolutely fell in love with
Yep.
my first etymology class.
Oh
From
wow.
there, went on to get my graduate degree at Kansas State University. So go Wildcats. And yeah, 2 degrees in
Wow.
etymology, BCE, and here I
There you go.
am.
There you go. So it just so happens that last night my wife and I are rewatching the old X Files shows, and there was an episode last night, and they had a body of something in the woods and whatever, and it was covered with Madagascar hissing cockroaches.
Oh,
Yeah, and we all our skin was crawling, and not because of the roaches, but we see these and we're like, those are vegetarians. I mean, like, why is it on a carcass? That's
they're not native. They're not native.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be in Vancouver, in the cold up there. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. So there was also a Western conifer seed bug that made an appearance in the episode, and it was supposed to be a biting insect. So there was a lot of entomological crises going on that
Well, fun
episode.
fact, you know all the Jurassic Park movies and how it's based on that one little mosquito in amber that it drank, but there were no blood-sucking insects during the time of dinosaurs.
Yeah. Don't bother us with facts here, Shell.
I know.
Come
I'm
on,
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done.
come on. Oh, you're ruining everything for us.
I'm sorry. I know.
So, so the reason we got you on today is you're going to be presenting at the fall workshop for the NYPMA on September 30th in Farmingdale, New York, downstate, Long Island. And you're going to be talking about rodents. What kinds of things can we expect to see from you there?
I'm super excited about this. Happy to see all my New York folks and my New England folks. And yeah, with the rodent presentation, this is a lot of fun for me because I'm a science geek. So, I always go back to the science and what does the science say? So I went through hundreds of research papers, scientific journals. This is not just, what was published
Hmm.
in the USA Today. This was, actual scientific journals, and pulled up a huge amount of great stuff, recent stuff too, that shows us that some of the behaviors that maybe we've been thinking about for a really long time may not apply so much. So we're going to talk over some of that science and what it means and how to put that
Oh,
science
wow.
in effect to help you do your job better to manage those rodents. Because I mean, that's the key, right? We want to manage them faster and better. So this is hopefully going to help some folks out.
Wow. So my training dates back originally to 1997. And so I have gotten a lot of things over the years that we were told. Mice are curious and they run along
Mhm.
walls and this and that. Has some of that been altered? Is there new thinking on some of those things?
It is, especially with the whole house mice are curious thing. Lots of things are telling us they are not curious, only if they're like forced to be, which again, if we can force that behavior, great, we can capture them more. So, yeah, that curiosity thing doesn't hold up with the science.
Yeah, that's amazing. Is there a key takeaway from all this that you would want people to have when they're done with your presentation and they walk away? What's like a key nugget that you want them to take away?
Well, first of all, it's all about trap placement. I
Mm,
mean, we've said it a million times, so I hate to say it again, but hopefully this will teach you where, honing it down to those, within feet or within inches of where you've been doing it before. And just that slight shift in your thinking will hopefully have you doing those rodent jobs better. And, the science is out there. Science is important, and we're still doing science. So just because you may have learned something 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago, we have science that can either back that up or maybe disprove it. So
yeah.
yeah.
Wow. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure you just called me old, Shell.
Nope. Nope.
That's good.
Not at all.
Experienced. Let's go with
Vintage.
like a fine wine. There you go.
Exactly.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. So it's interesting. I've been talking with some of our friends across the pond over in England, and
Yeah.
they it seems like have a lot of research that we don't have here. Like there's been a lot on behavioral resistance and genetic actual resistance
Yep.
with the rodenticides and what that we're sort of flat-footed. Are we trying to sort of catch up with that over here? Do you think or?
I would hope so, because especially with resistance research, we need to test that.
Mm,
So we are pretty sure that it's happening in the US, but we just don't have any data to back it up. So to have that data show where those resistant populations are, so again, we can manage them better, would be great. But yeah, we have a lot of great research out of Europe, out of Great Britain.
yeah.
Even Australia has some great papers that are showcasing some of this resistance, which is a little scary.
Yeah. Now, this is a kind of, since you mentioned going through a lot of journal articles and things like that. I don't know if you've done this, and maybe proceed at your own risk. But one of the things I've taken to is actually using AI to load, a PDF of a journal article or a research paper, and then talk to that, say, according to this document, summarize the findings and what is this and what is that, and it actually kind of behaves like you're able to talk to the people that wrote the paper, and it will answer those questions. And it's been a time saving thing for us to thumb through. You could have something that's a 30-page, dense research paper, and to
Mhm.
be able to quickly kind of give me the main the main parts of that. So that's something
Yep.
we've taken to.
Or you could have your own entomologist who would do that work for you. So,
Where
I
would we
mean,
find
just
that, Shell? Do you
just
think?
just saying.
Where,
I don't know.
where
Um,
might we find that? So yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Chellhartzer.com will give you a
Okay.
lot of information. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook. It's pretty hard to not find me. But yeah, Google
Yeah.
Scholar is one of my best
Mm,
friends too, to pull up those scientific papers. And
yeah.
you're right, though, some of these papers are huge, and you have to dig out what's the most important for you and how that can apply to your job. But it's great when you do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's interesting because I found over the years, like, not a lot of stuff is really heavily specific necessarily to, say, structural pest management. But you'll have a
Yep,
study out of India on, a house mouse preferences for different kinds of food and grain and whatever. But there's nuggets in there that you can take away and be like, oh
absolutely.
wow, they found, in Australia they found this sort of thing, and you're like, wow, that's an interesting aspect of behavior. I have a way I can repurpose that knowledge.
Yep.
So tell us about 360 Pest Consulting, though. That's your business, right?
That is my company. Yep. And
Yeah,
we help those smaller companies that don't have a full-time entomologist, don't have that full-time training staff because they're just not ready yet. You're
yeah,
still growing. I come in as their fractional, as their part-time entomologist to help them with all that geeky stuff, all the tech
mm,
stuff, all the science, all the troubleshooting. My favorite game is What's That Bug? When you send me that fuzzy cell phone picture with no
yeah,
size reference, I am the queen of that game. I am damn good at it. So,
yeah,
all those things that you find out in the field that, you don't want to have to go through 20 different labels to find out what's the best product for this. So, all
sure.
of those geeky technical things I can take off your plate. I can do for you as you continue to grow until you get to the point where you're big enough for a full-time person.
Sure, that's a great service, and actually, the what's that bug makes me think we need to have sort of a game show with
Yes.
a couple BCEs and some terrible
Oh,
customer pictures, and then you have to like buzz in and like name that German roach or
awesome. Let's do
yeah.
it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so if you want to play what's that bug with Shell, how can people get a hold of you?
Like I said, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
Best way is chellehartzer.com. You can schedule a free meeting with me. All my phone number, email, all that information is on my website at chellehartzer.com.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right.